Welcome to the Samantha Leith podcast with me, Samantha Leith. I have a passion for exploring anything and everything that can help us to be extraordinary. Each week, I'm going to dive into a topic and explore it extensively because if there's something that makes for a better life, I want to learn about it and, more importantly, share it. And hey, you may just get the odd song thrown in. There'll be deep conversations, fun and frivolity, helpful tools for you to add to your life straight away, random musings about anything from coffee to sex, and information that may just blow your mind. This is a podcast for dreamers, believers, action takers, and achievers. It's personal development, but not as you know it. Hello, and welcome to the Samantha Leith podcast, episode 26, where I want to talk about finishing the year strong. Now, you might hear that and think, oh, Samantha, I think you've lost the plot. It's only June. What do you mean finishing the end of the year strong? Well, if you're in Australia, it's the end of the financial year. And as someone who, did that odd thing of getting accounting qualifications, that financial year thing for me is always a bit of a goalpost. There are financial things I want to tick over, and I often do my planning for financial year things, and it's a good kind of like refresh. I often do my restart with my clients around about this time of year because we can then jump into July. It's kind of like our January, I guess, if you're in a place where the financial year is December, and if you're in New Zealand, the end of financial year is February. So, but you know what? That's actually all completely irrelevant. Who cares what the actual date is? It's about that time in our lives when we kind of get to that last bit of I was going to say marathon then, but I don't know anything about marathons. But I'm sure you're going to get to the end of the marathon. It's like, I don't know, the last 10 kilometers or whatever they do. They're like, so close, but so far away, can I do it? And your mind is like a jumble of all this stuff. And you set yourself a target of doing things within a certain time frame, and you get close to it. And it's like, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? What was I thinking? I nailed it. Oh, I should have done bigger goals. Our heads just go around and around in circles about what we're actually doing as we lead up to that end point, that goalpost, that finish line, that end of financial year, the end of the calendar year, the end of the lunar year. Pick a date, any date. You are welcome. It is just looking about that time of reflection and how we can do our best to get what we really want done by that time frame. Okay? Now, look, why am I doing this podcast today? Well, end of financial year, as I said, does kind of have a lot of my goals attached to it. And this morning when I was journaling, I went to, as I always do, write out the goals that I'm working on in this particular phase. And as I started writing them, the shame and the disappointment kind of hit in that, I don't think I'm going to freaking do it. I just don't think those things I set myself for the end of June 2023 are actually going to happen. And this heaviness kind of crept in about, well, I should have done better. And if I'd done that at that date, it would have worked out differently. And if hadn't taken the stories we tell ourselves, the words we say to ourselves that we wouldn't ever put up with a friend or a family member actually saying to ourselves. But in that moment when we're talking to ourselves in our heads, the stuff that comes out, we can be nasty. So I paused and I thought about it. And I thought about all the things that have happened this year in my world and in my daughter's world. And if you follow me on social media, you may have seen that our gorgeous, beautiful, she'll be 7 tomorrow, Labrador Charlie, had a spinal stroke 2 weeks ago today and is paralyzed from the waist down. So, at the moment my life involves making sure I can turn her every couple of hours and manually expressing her pee and doing all sorts of things as we try and do a little bit more rehab and as her spine heals to give her the best opportunity. You know, bit of a speed hump in what I was doing at the moment. There's been deaths in the family. There's been like all sorts of things. And we all have stuff. So please, this is not a feel sorry for Sam thing at all. Everybody has their own stuff. But it took me a moment of writing to go, do I really believe enough in these goals to reassess and think about what I can realistically do, or even if I want to do before the end of the financial year? Or am I going to let all the things that have happened completely derail me? Or am I going to think, okay, well, actually, I want to change that one, or I don't want to do that one, or it doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or oh my gosh, that one I really, really want to do. So hold your horses, people, I'm coming through. Doesn't matter what at the end of the day I thought about this morning, but it was so hard. Just this thinking, oh, we're here, we're, 28 days till the end of the month, and it's like, I'm not going to do it. And to make matters, in my head worse, it's my birthday in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, at Gemini, we like to party. We like to do lots of things. We're the people that don't have a but, we're an and. I can achieve my goals and go out every night. I can and. That's our middle name, I think. And I'm like, I can't. Because human nature does this to us, Maybe because I'm a Gemini, it makes it worse. I don't know. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to read you this quote. It's from a guy called Matthew Kelly in the book, The Long View. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a month. We overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can accomplish in a decade. Now, many people, from Bill Gates to Tony Robbins, have been quoted as saying something very similar. So tweak it to whichever way you want, I probably overestimate what I can do in 10 minutes and underestimate what I can do in an hour, because having ADHD and being a single mum, I often kind of seem to bend time. It's like I've gone for a really quick trip in a TARDIS and I'm back again with everything done before the kettle actually boils. When I am in that very aligned, focused way. If I'm not in that way, it's like we just had a siesta at a oasis somewhere in the Sahara, and there is no time. We're just there lazing back. Oh, got to thinking about lying in the Sahara now. So here we go. You started either the beginning of this calendar year or the beginning of the financial year thinking about your goals and your dreams and what you wanted to get done. And as I say, we want to dream, believe, act, and achieve. So we want to dream about what we want. We want to have that clarity about what we want. Then we want to form the beliefs that we can actually do it. Then we want to take the action, and then we're going to achieve the results. But you may have gotten to this point and gone, oh, okay, well, I had the dream and I had the goal, but oops, I forgot to take the action. Oh, dear. Okay. And that might get you down. So you might look at this next couple of weeks and think, well, it's all screwed. So why bother? What's the point? And we do that cut off our nose to spite our face kind of thing because we think, well, I can't achieve $1 million in the next 3 weeks, so I won't try for $100. Get what I mean? And I don't want you to put the pressure on yourself, as I have done so many times in the past, of thinking you can compress all the actions that you needed to take in that 12-month period or 6-month period and get them all done in 28 days. Like, you need to sleep, you need to eat, you need to look after yourself. You might have children, you might have a job, you might have all sorts of other things going on in your life. So by sitting at this point and thinking, oh yeah, no, I can really do it, I can do it, you're going to set yourself up for failure or heavens to Betsy, you actually achieve something incredible in the next couple of weeks, you will probably come crashing down the day after. And then the first couple of months of your next financial year, or first couple of weeks, whatever it is, aren't starting strong. Okay. So we want to be able to end and finish strong. We don't want to have, it's not a either or thing. We want to have the and. Finish strong, start strong. Okay. And when you're doing that, you can keep your motivation at the same kind of level. You can keep your discipline going. You can keep those daily habits going. You can do all the things you need to do to support your success during this period. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about what has actually happened. So we're going to do a strategy called a reflection, put my teeth back in, reflective action. Now, it's not about just navel glazing. It is about the action part, okay? Sometimes I forget that bit too. I'm like, oh, I've done so much thinking. Isn't it all achieved? No, we still have to do the action. But the reflection part's actually really important. I want you to, whether you want to journal or you want to get a voice recorder out or just type it out, but handwriting's better. I want you to think about what has happened to get you up until this point. So what were the goals and the dreams that you had at the beginning of this period, okay? And then what is it that's happened? What actions did you take? What didn't you take? What speed bumps were along the way? What amazing, beautiful things like falling in madly in love and getting proposed to and being whisked off to Venice. I'd so love it if one of you DM'd me and said, oh my gosh, that's what happened to me. So I didn't do what I wanted to do, but I did do this. I'd love to hear those stories. So send them to me at Samantha Leith on all the socials. But writing out those things that actually have happened to you to either detour you a little bit or help you get there, I want you to reflect on that. If there's been things that have been not so great, like what did you learn from it? What could you have done better? What did you think, that just wasn't a good idea at all? Don't know why I thought I actually needed to do that. Do you actually still want that goal? Is that dream still part of your vision? Because if it's not, and you really ask yourself that question, then bingo, there's all the answers as to why you haven't done what you said you'd do in this period of time. We're not going to work towards things that don't either mean something to us or bring us a paycheck, or we have to have a result. We have to have like skin in the game. We have to have something we want from what we're doing. I can make absolute miracles happen the day of any of my daughter's birthday parties. I can decorate the house for 100 kids. I can, make Harry Potter decorations. I can do slime farms. I can do all those things because I want to see that joy on her face. I want to see everybody experience this fantastic time. If someone asked me to do those things on another day, it'd probably take me 5 times as long because I didn't have that endpoint. So what is it that you want to achieve, or wanted to achieve rather, at the beginning of this time frame? And how far along are you? Okay. And why? That reflection piece is really, really, really important. Okay. Because and then we get to the action piece, which we'll jump into. And it's that circular thing, we reflect on things and then we take the action. Just like I say, the dream, believe, act, achieve. We don't end when we've achieved something. We have another dream, okay, that we then need to believe in and take action on and achieve. It's always, personal growth is about so many of these circular things within our lives, okay? We think of something we want, we take the steps to get there, we make it happen. We start again, okay? It's like learning how to swim. We just get in, we do laps, we get back out, we do laps again, we get back out, we do laps again. We keep going to go stronger and faster and have that success that we actually dream about. So once you've done the reflection, you've got to think about what steps do you now need to take or change that you were doing in order to wrap it up in a little bit of a better way. And sometimes this action piece is actually reassessing that goal and changing it. Okay. You may go, okay, no, I am not going to be able to deadlift 2 of me in the next 3 weeks. So how about I just learn how about I just use a skipping rope every day? My mind is going crazy with sports and fitness things today. Maybe I need to do more exercise. See what I mean? You want to create an action plan on what you're thinking you can actually achieve in the next couple of weeks and want to actually achieve in the next couple of weeks. Chances are, if you wanted to have $1 million launch in June and you have done nothing to set up that launch, it's not going to happen, honey. So sorry. Got to pull that rug out from under you. It ain't happening. But you could have a smaller launch. Absolutely. 28 days is enough time to achieve all sorts of things if you have the right end goal and the right plan. And then actually take the action. Don't just have the plan. That ain't going to do it. I'll keep saying that. So again, reflect and then look at what you need to do in order to make something happen in the next 28 days. Okay? Maybe it's just something you need to improve on personally, and you take your eye off the ball of a really big thing. Doesn't matter. It's okay. It's okay to change your plans. It's okay to go, that goal no longer means something to me. I've done that. I'm sure most people I know have done that. Sometimes they don't know they're doing it though. And here's what I really want you to get. A lot of the time, we will decide that we want to achieve something and then start sabotaging ourselves. And that can actually be our own way of going, I don't really want that goal. Sometimes we sabotage for all sorts of other reasons, but sometimes it is as simple as, I didn't actually really want that goal, but I'm not quite sure how to admit that I didn't want that goal. So I'm just going to sabotage myself and then not get it. And it kind of makes it all okay. Well, it doesn't. Those self-sabotaging things that we do actually make ourselves feel bad about ourselves. And I don't want that for you. I don't want it for me. I don't want it for anybody. So know that you have permission, and you don't need it from me, but I'm going to give it to you. If you can't give it to yourself, you're not quite at that point yet. I'm giving you the permission to change the end post of what you want to achieve in these next few weeks. Okay? Even doing that will help your personal growth. It will stop the guilt or the shame or the, oh my God, I'm running out of time, frenetic energy that you may be running around with in this period to do something that you're not going to be able to do. Well, as I said, you don't want to do. Okay? So how are you going to make it happen? Well, firstly, I want you to cheer yourself on. First action step, write it down. I want you to cheer yourself on for actually taking the time to do this reflection and think about what you want to do and how you're going to finish strong at the end of this financial year. And again, you can do this at any time. You can do it every weekend if that's probably overdoing it. But I want you to celebrate that you've actually done this bit. You've come that far. You've taken the time to listen to yourself and to be honest with yourself. Okay? Then all I want you to do is follow my 5x5 method or 3x3 method. Pick a number, any number, but don't do more than 5. I shouldn't really say pick a number, any number, should I? Say you're working on 3 goals at the moment. I want you to think of the 3 action steps that you need to take every day. So every day you're going to do the 3 steps for each of the 3 goals, or 5x5, okay? And I want you to do it. Carve that time out in your calendar. That's the 3rd step, okay? Celebrate, then work out the steps, and then carve that time out in your calendar. and make sure you allow for the other stuff that's going on at the end of this time. Again, in Australia, end of financial year, you might actually have some accounting stuff you do need to do. Do you need to get those receipts loaded into Xero? Do you need to send something to your accountant? Have you done last year's tax return? Add that to your list if you haven't. But keep it simple, that 3x3 or the 5x5. And then every day, do those steps. Every day, remind yourself in your journaling why you're doing it, why you want to finish strong. Okay? Because remember, by finishing strong, but not overwhelmed or burnt out or crazy, frenetic energy, you won't come crashing down. So you finish strong and start strong. And I really do want that for you and for myself over these next few weeks. So I can assure you this is exactly what I'm doing in order to get what I really, truly, bottom of my heart, want done in the next couple of weeks. And you can do it too. Absolutely. Pinky promise, okay? So thank you very much for listening today. Tag me on the socials and let me know what you're doing over the next couple of weeks. And if you need a little reminder every day of me going, oh, have you done X, Y, or Z? I will be cheering you on. I would love to help you do that. So please tag me or send me a DM and I will help you finish strong at the end of this year. And then we can all get into the 2024 financial year with excitement and energy for what is absolutely possible for all of us, okay? Until then, have a fantastic week. If you get a chance, head on over to wherever you're listening to this podcast and leave a review. That would be amazing. I would really appreciate it. And have a great day. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Samantha Leith podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to dive deeper into the world of personal development and what's possible for you, then I'd love to invite you to join the club. It's my monthly membership designed to guide and support you with the tools and the coaching you need to be extraordinary. Head on over to samanthaleith.com/the club for more information. I'd love to see you on the inside.